Whenever I take a break from drawing, it's always a little bit of a struggle to find my way back again once the break is over. I recently took such a break, and it has been a little bit harder to feel creative since then. I feel as if anything I make isn't going to be good enough. I often get a sort of stressful desire to outperform myself, as if to make up for lost time. Unfortunately, such feelings usually have the opposite effect, and they leave me feeling overwhelmed, and I end up avoiding projects I really want to work on. And when I do make an effort to work on them, it's hard to commit because I feel like it's not going to be worth it in the end. But one Saturday night a couple weeks ago, I was playing The Sims, and while waiting for my game to load, I decided to just doodle for a couple minutes, and I ended up really enjoying myself. It's so easy to get wrapped up in pressure when being creative that sometimes I think I need to train myself more in the art of not caring so much. So that's what I ended up doing with this drawing. It's simple, it's well within my comfort zone, it's not groundbreaking or challenging in the slightest, and I decided to let myself be fine with that. I could feel myself tensing up so many times while drawing this, thinking about how I wanted the outcome to look and thinking about what my process looks like on camera. Every time I noticed this, I tried to take a deep breath and take a moment to just relax my body before continuing. With so much focus on creating content rather than just art, it's become harder for me to stay in the moment while drawing. And I think it's important to go back to the roots of your passion ever so often and make art not for the end result, but because making it brings you joy. I often think about how I want to try being more present while making art, and not think about things like what I want to put in the captions when I post it. I know that's easier said than done, and at the same time it feels like I'm just stating something very obvious. On the other hand, while drawing this, I did start to think of ways to continue this idea in another drawing. I thought about how this mushroom might have been looking for a nice little autumn leaf to hide or nap under, so later I ended up sketching out ideas for that as well. It made me think about how creativity is something that needs to be exercised, and it's unfair to expect yourself to run a marathon right after you took a break from running. Even if I just took a few weeks off from drawing, that still made me feel at a loss when I sat down to continue. It was hard even to pin down ideas or themes I wanted to work with. It's like I was waiting for the right idea to hit. But the truth is that it's really hard for ideas to just materialize if you don't seek them out intentionally. Inspiration can absolutely hit at the most random moments, but inspiration is unpredictable, and taking action is less so. I took drama classes when I was younger, and we would do a fair share of improvising. One rule I was taught was to say yes to ideas as they come to you, and not think too hard about what to do while doing improv. We were encouraged to act on the first thing that came to mind and not stand still while trying to come up with the perfect response or the most interesting dialogue and so on. We were told to not shut down other people's ideas, but to play along and see where the scenario takes you when you explore it a little further. Some scenes will inevitably be better than others, but it's the continuation that leads up to those really good moments. It's about not becoming stagnant. I think that's a good habit to get into as a creative. My prompt here was pretty simple: a mushroom with a colorful autumn leaf. While exploring that, I ended up making new ideas. Again, maybe not the most challenging or novel ideas I've ever had, but they probably wouldn't even exist if I just decided that drawing a leaf wasn't worthwhile. Sometimes I get so caught up in the idea that I want to be interesting and make new and cool things that I end up doing nothing instead. And I feel like doing nothing is even worse than being unoriginal or uninteresting. Of course, there are times when it's best to scrap ideas, but when in a rut, I think it can be a good thing to not be too selective. After getting this one out of my head, I kind of feel like the ball is rolling again. I still feel myself tensing up when I work, and I can't help but let my thoughts wander to social media and self-critique, and it's probably something that I will always have to work on. But for now, I'm happy to have just finished this drawing. Just for the sake of drawing. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I hope you were able to find something that resonates with you as well. What do you like to do when you feel stuck or when you feel like you're putting too much pressure on yourself? I would love to hear your thoughts or if you have any tips that have worked for you. And that's it for now. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!